Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fourth annual Dining with Champions Dinner and Auction. My name is Rich Ferrix, and I'll be your MC, helping us navigate this unique virtual celebration. Welcome to everyone who joined in the mixology experience. I hope you had a great time, and I'd like to thank our guest mixologist, Aaron Gordon, for a fun experience. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Tonight's event is a little different than our first three Dining with Champions. But after a year on hiatus, we are back to celebrate our student athletes and the success of our Millersville Marauders. Everyone joining us online tonight has supported Millersville Athletics. Whether you're an alum, family member, sponsor, or coach, your contributions has helped give our 400 student athletes, some of which are in attendance tonight, a championship experience. That's why we're here tonight, to recognize award winners, hear about how your contributions have positively impacted our student athletes, and to ensure future successes for the department. I would like to thank our sponsors for this evening's event: Sinorama, Desai Fritz Foundation, PSECU, Elite Coach, Northwestern Mutual, Kathy Sieber, and Angela Cuthbert. Now, if you haven't had the chance yet, be sure to bid on one of the exciting items and packages we have in our silent auction. In this virtual format, the auction is our primary source of fundraising for the event. There's a link available right on your screen where you can check in on your bids, or if you want to open up another device or browser and really keep a close watch, just type in millersvilleathletics.com/DWC. That's millersvilleathletics.com/DWC. The auction closes at 9 p.m., so get your bids in. Now, if you don't see something that piques your interest in the auction, and I can't believe that's going to be true, but you would still like to support our student athletes, right next to the auction link is a Donate Now button. Again, tonight's event came to everyone free of charge. So please consider giving to Millersville Athletics in some form tonight. Now, let's get started with tonight's program. Our first speaker has navigated us through an extremely challenging year at Millersville, and his leadership has kept the university on track. He has been a great supporter of athletics and getting our student athletes back to practices and competitions safely. And we're excited to have him here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Millersville University President, Dr. Daniel Wuba.
Good evening, and thank you, Dr. Rich Ferrix, for the kind introduction. And I want to welcome everyone who is joining us online for this special event. As we all know, this past year has been unlike any other. It's been challenging for our students, particularly for our student athletes. I want to thank our coaches, athletic trainers, and all the athletics department staff for their flexibility and perseverance throughout this pandemic. I applaud your efforts in bringing sports back safely this spring. We have an exciting evening planned tonight. We will hear from our own Millersville alumnus, Tim Meza of Major League Baseball. Tim pitched here at the Ville from 2011 to 2013 and was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. During his minor league career, he continued to take classes and he completed his degree in December of 2018 after making his major league debut earlier that summer. In his fourth season with Toronto this year, Tim hasn't allowed a walk or a run in any of his 6 appearances so far. We are proud of you, Tim, and fortunate to have you with us this evening. I am also pleased to make a very special announcement this evening. As you may know, Millersville University is in the 4th year of our Imagine the Possible fundraising campaign. Because of supporters like you, we have raised approximately $62 million over the past 3.5 years. For the first phase of this campaign, we focused on scholarships, student experiences, and athletics. As we move into the second phase this fall, we are adding a 4th campaign priority, campus revitalization. Having best-in-class spaces is a must to provide the top-flight education that is associated with our university. And one of the spaces being revitalized is the athletic complex at Millersville Stadium. The first step in this renovation is to overhaul and expand the locker rooms and athletic training rooms at the stadium, which was built in 1968. Additional improvements include installing a video scoreboard to replace the existing scoreboard from 2003 and adding a new press box. One special alumna who is with us this evening stepped forward to help us make this project a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Lois Morgan, class of 1954, has committed a record-setting $1.5 million gift to kick off the fundraising for the Millersville Stadium renovation. Let's give her a hand. Lois's gift is the largest single gift in the history of Millersville Athletics and puts the stadium campaign over halfway to its initial $2.5 million goal. Currently, the football, field hockey, lacrosse, cross country, and track and field teams utilize the stadium, and nearly 200 athletes in these sports have outgrown the space. Lois's gift came after visiting the field hockey team and seeing the locker rooms. While this gift jump-started the stadium renovation campaign, we must raise an additional $1 million to make the project's initial phase of the new locker rooms a reality. For alumni and supporters, there are various opportunities to become involved in this entirely privately funded project. You will hear more about ways to get involved in the coming weeks, in addition to what Dr. Frerichs just shared with you. Thank you again for being here this evening to support Morada Athletics. We are so proud of you, of your support to Millersville Athletics, and of our student athletes. Let's have fun tonight as we celebrate Morada Athletics. Thank you, and go Moradas!
Thank you, Dr. Wuba. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move into tonight's awards presentation. Our presenter is the 2010 graduate of Millersville University and our Director of Athletics, Miles Gallagher.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our annual Dining with Champions celebration. I want to sincerely thank Dr. Wuba for his leadership and continued support of Millersville Athletics. I also want to thank our Vice President, Brian Hazlett, who's on tonight, as well as all the other members of the University administration who are able to make it. I also want to make a special shout out to our women's tennis program, who yesterday upset Westchester and will now be competing for the PSAC championship on Saturday. Congratulations to our women's tennis student athletes. As you just heard from Dr. Wuba, tonight is not only about recognizing our best and brightest student athletes, it's about celebrating the largest gift in Millersville Athletics history and supporting our vision for the future. We faced a challenging year and our donor base stepped up in a big way. Not only did we sustain our fundraising efforts, we continued to grow and look ahead at the future while doing it through a pandemic. The best example of this was the Millersville One Day Give in February. Athletics was 50% of the total university giving, and we more than tripled our fundraising totals from the previous year with a record $300,000 raised. Hats off to our coaches, staff, and supporters for their efforts in making that a record-breaking event. Our success is a testament to the Marauder family and all the people who believe in our coaches and student athletes. I'm proud to say that our athletic programs are going to continue to flourish because of your unwavering support. There is no bigger supporter than Lois Morgan. A few years ago, as Dr. Wuba mentioned, Lois joined the field hockey team in their locker room after a game and walked away saying, and I'm paraphrasing, "This isn't what I expected and something needs to be done." Today, she is leading the charge in making a dream a reality. Her gift is kickstarting a campaign that will transform Beansdorfer Stadium locker rooms and athletic training rooms. It will impact the lives of more than 200 student athletes and the ability for our coaches to recruit and retain high-quality student athletes. It truly is a great day to be a Marauder. Thank you, Lois. Before we get into the award presentation this evening, I'd like to take a moment to remember a longtime supporter of Millersville University, the athletic department, and this event, Dining with Champions. I'd like to take a moment to remember Bob Lair, who passed away last week peacefully at his home with his family. Bob will truly be missed, and we will send our condolences to his family. Now is the time to recognize our award winners. As we present these awards, you will see a video of the recipients, and many of them are with us here tonight. Our first award is the Female Career Achievement Award, sponsored by not only Kathy Siebert. If you follow our softball team on social media, you're probably familiar with the phrase tip and rip. Well, over the last 4 years, no one has done better than our award winner. She broke the career record for home runs in one season and now owns the career records for RBIs and slugging percentage, and may finish with the best batting average in the history of Millersville softball. She's a two-time All-Atlantic Region performer, and in addition to her on-the-field achievements, she spent the last 4 years with the Millersville ROTC. And after graduation this spring, she will be commissioned as an officer in the United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, our Female Career Achievement Award winner.
I was surprised and thankful. I am extremely grateful that I live in a country that I can play a sport. So, I mean, there's 130 million females around the world that can't get an education. And the fact that I can get an education, play a sport, and then be awarded something for it is incredible. And it's a blessing. And it reminds me of why I want to be in the Army, to protect that and to make sure that that doesn't change and only gets better, and that more females can get awards and be an accomplished athlete. I needed scholarship money to go to college. I needed to have some sort of financial plan, obviously. And so I knew the Army was my path, but the softball scholarship that I received made it more of a reality to be able to not just join the Army out of high school and then along the way I'll get my education at some point. So that was my step and was kind of, I think, God's way of saying okay, this is your next step. You can go play softball because you have this opportunity that wouldn't have happened without scholarship money. Well, I'm very lucky because I've had a fantastic 4 years. We have a ton of memories, and if you get the whole team together, we could talk for hours. Softball wise, we were in Virginia on our tour down to Florida my sophomore year, and I was a home run away from breaking the career record, and I was very aware of that. And every time I go up to bat, I look at my third base coach, which is our head coach, and I smile at her because I don't take myself too seriously. And she looks at me straight in the eyes and she says, "Break records." And I hit a home run, and I remember rounding second base, and it wasn't even the achievement that was so great, it was the fact that my coach believed in me enough to look at me straight in the eye and tell me to break records, and she knew that I could get it done. That belief goes such a long way, and I'm so thankful for that. Focus on your teammates, focus on what matters, and then the rest will fall in place. Just work hard. Don't second guess things. Don't look at the other people that are successful and try to figure out what they're doing. Just continue the way you do things, stick to your morals, stick to who you are, and in the long run, achievements are great, but it's your character and like how you carry yourself and how you positively impact other people. I don't want people to look back and be like, oh yeah, Faith was a great athlete, but terrible human. I would rather have people remember me as someone who impacted their life positively, and then the athletic side is just extra. I've been extremely blessed. My family, my coaches, I've never had a coach that I look back and I'm like, oh, that was a terrible coach. And I'm so thankful for that. I mean, that totally can make or break a player and if they want to play. My mom and my dad obviously supported me financially and would drive me to tournaments all throughout my high school career. My brothers made me very much who I am today. And then just obviously Coach Probst is absolutely someone I need to thank every day because she gave me an opportunity to be here. She took a chance on me after all the other PSAC coaches didn't want me. And so I just absolutely am so thankful for that. And I've told her that I will stand behind her forever because of that.
Thank you, Faith. Determination and the desire to improve every day is really what our next Career Achievement Award recipient is all about. This Male Career Achievement Award is sponsored by Elite Coach. The 2020 season was supposed to be his senior year, but after losing it to the pandemic, he decided to come back for a fifth year and helps his team with some unfinished business. In 2019, he became just the sixth Millersville shortstop to be named All PSAC East first team, and he set the program record for home runs by a shortstop. He's made over 180 career starts at the position and has been a starter for a PSAC East title and 3 NCAA regional teams. Ladies and gentlemen, our Male Career Achievement Award winner.
It's just awesome to receive. I know the alumni here drive our whole organization, the pride they have in the team, so it's just a blessing to be able to receive something like that. Through scholarships, Coach Sheehan does a great job connecting us with alumni. Obviously helps financially. Any little bit helps. I'm out of state too, so making sure that if you want to play here and he thinks you can play here, you're going to get every opportunity you can get to come here and do that, so it's big time. Houston's definitely a big one. I think hosting the regional in 2019 was also really exciting. Big one for me was also the regional the year before, 2018. We had a big game, multiple big games that year in the PSAC tournament. We played one against Seton Hill, super late at night. We were out on the field till probably 1 a.m. It was raining the whole game out in Johnstown. That's one I always look back on and remember. We lost, but it was just a great game, fun game to be a part of, and it was PSAC, so we knew we had regionals next week. The energy at the Coop on a Saturday is always awesome to be around. Coach Sheehan says it's the best small town atmosphere you can get in college baseball, and I don't disagree. I kind of realized after a slow start to my career was just every little bit matters. Nutrition, fitness, mental game. Coming from my background, I knew I had to work hard in order to be a player on this team, to find myself in the lineup. But I didn't always know what to do, what steps to take. And I think the biggest thing for me was getting with Coach Sheehan, doing the right research, doing the right work, doing the right preparation. And then when you do that, it makes it a lot easier to trust your preparation. And when you show up on game day, really believe you belong to be there. And that mental edge gives you a big advantage, and it all comes from the work you do and the preparation you do. My parents, obviously, they sacrificed a lot in order to send me all the way over here and play here for 5 years. So definitely them, and then Coach Sheehan for sure. Coach Sheehan just taught me a lot, as I spoke before about preparation, stuff like that. He's a phenomenal leader. I look at him and just wonder sometimes how he can do what he does so selflessly. And all the alumni, all the guys I played with, Kaylor Kalina was a big one for me. Summerfield was a big one for me, David Summerfield, and even Chaz. And then more recently, Bob and Jimmy Kane, guys that I spent 4 years with. They just helped me, keep me accountable, keep me growing in the right direction. Those names I named, it's a long list, but they all definitely helped.
Congratulations, Eric. Now we will present the Distinguished Scholar Athlete Award, sponsored by Northwestern Mutual. This award is presented to the senior with the highest cumulative GPA. Our award winner has excelled in all aspects of being a student athlete. He owns a 4.0 GPA in meteorology. He is a 2-time PSAC champion scholar, a 3-time PSAC scholar athlete, a winner of the prestigious PSAC Top 10 Award in the spring of 2020, and he was named COSIDA Academic All-District in 2020. He has also served as the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. He's been a valuable performer and leader on the court for Resurgent Men Tennis Program. Ladies and gentlemen, our Scholar Athlete Award winner.
For me, this award just means so much because it's the epitome of being a student athlete. We're all here to be able to get an education and to be able to pursue a sport we love. And so throughout the past 4 years here at Millersville, I've been able to take my passion for tennis and meteorology and be able to use it in ways where I'm able to complete activities in both fields, and it's just been a dream come true, honestly. It's just given me the opportunity to be able to really stay focused on tennis and academics. I've been fortunate enough with the scholarship money that I've received where I don't need to have another source of income coming in, so it's really allowed me to focus on those two fields and to be able to give back and dedicate my time. Being able to just be a student athlete without the other work has allowed me to fulfill other duties, like being super involved in SAC and being the president this year. I feel like if I didn't have that extra time, I really wouldn't be able to stay as involved and engaged within the athletic department. That's such a good question. I mean, I could kind of go year by year. I think my freshman year, the best memory we had was winning our match at Westchester, because that was the first PSAC match we had won in 5 or 6 years. And I think overall, like, the best memory that I've had at Millersville has been being part of a program that's going through rebuilding. I mean, our freshman year, I think we were 2-15, 2-14, and then moving up to our sophomore year is our first year that we made playoffs in I think 6 or 7 years. And so that in itself, that match when we clinched being able to make playoffs was such an incredible moment. And then last year, sadly, before our season was cut off, we had some great matches. Our match that we had at University District of Columbia, there was just such a drive and such a passion with each of the matches that we played. I really wish we could have fulfilled that season, but coming into this year, our senior season, I really think we have a shot at winning this PSAC championship, and so I'm excited to see what comes. I first want to thank my coaches. Coach Helsel and Madison have just been such a big inspiration to me and have really pushed me to be the best player that I can be. I really want to thank my family, my mom, my dad, and my brother. They've really pushed me to find a school that was the best fit for me, and without their support, I really don't think I would be here at Millersville today. And then lastly, my friends have been just such a great support network for me. They've been going to my classes, they helped me through my schoolwork, and without them, I really wouldn't be here today.
Congratulations, Ben. A key part of our core values is service, and that's what these next 2 awards are all about. It's time to recognize our Community of Service Award, sponsored by PSECU. Our student athletes and coaches continually spend time giving back to the community. This past year was all about adapting, and our winners did just that. They created a unique way to engage with community, promote their sport, and encourage physical health during the most isolated times of our nationwide lockdown. Ladies and gentlemen, our Community Service Award winner for creating a virtual field hockey clinic for youth through the use of social media is our Millersville field hockey team.
We always do a kids clinic in the spring, and we were planning on doing one, then obviously COVID hit, but Shelly came up with doing it virtually, which honestly we all thought she was crazy at first because we had so much on our plate. But it worked out, and I think it was great to get kids involved and everybody that would have been coming to these clinics and getting out and exercising to do it.
This was at the start of COVID when everyone was at home, everything was crazy, and so we thought it was important to be able to do something that could bring the community together and keep our team together as well while we were all separated at that time.
And you know what's really cool is that's one of the staples of our program is service and engagement. We have 3 staples, and service and engagement and giving back. And selfishly, it was a way to find them to cooperate and communicate with the task during COVID. And I think they did a fantastic job.
What people don't realize is how much logistical work always goes behind stuff like this. Everyone could sign up for when they wanted their video to be done and posted, and also what they thought that they would be doing for their skill or, you know, their little lesson.
If you were more advanced, you could watch the reverse shot or other ones like that, or if you were more basic, like just getting into hockey, you could do simple pulls and everything. So I just thought it was great that we had a wide range of videos for all types of levels.
The feedback from the community was just incredible and amazing. People were looking forward to it. People that weren't doing any hockey skills were like, hey, this is pretty cool. I look forward to seeing, hey, what's Belle doing? Or hey, what's Autumn doing? Or, you know, what's Hannah doing today?
We reached a lot of people, which was great, and we were getting some great feedback, you know, great videos, like I love watching this, my kids liked getting outside, and it gave everyone something to do. So it was great to hear the feedback that people were actually enjoying the videos.
It's really an honor to receive this award and have the team receive this award, because it was truly from their efforts and their energy.
You know, it really means the world to the team to be recognized for all the stuff that we do for the community and everything.
We're so thankful that, you know, we could do something like this and really help other people and show other people how much we love the sport.
I'm proud of them that they were able to find a way to do something completely unknown. Anything we can do to help others, boys, girls, pick up a stick, play a game. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to represent these young women, and I'm really proud of what they've done.
Our next award is the Core Values Award. This award is presented to the individual who exemplifies the core values of the Millersville University Athletic Department through their everyday actions. Our 2021 winners have literally been on the front lines of our battle against COVID-19. Their courage, dedication, and knowledge has helped keep our university functioning and safe this past year. And daily, they implement testing and monitoring of our teams, trainers, and officials. With many of the schools around us not being able to practice this fall, our student athletes were able to practice safely, in large part because of our award winners. It is safe to say that without these individuals, Millersville Athletics would not have been able to return to competition in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, our Core Values Award winner is Millersville University Health Services.
I probably talk with the head athletic trainer, Heather, several times a day, sometimes early in the morning, sometimes late at night. We have a very good working relationship, and I think that's one thing that has made it work so well for athletes, for the athletic teams to keep practicing in the fall and hopefully to play games in the spring.
I think there's a lot of value in having athletes be able to play. I think that athletics plays a big part in our students' mental health. We definitely saw a decline in some of our athletes last semester when their seasons were canceled, and we were already meeting with some of the athletes doing their testing prior to the season, and we're seeing a big improvement in their excitement to play. So I think, you know, the physical activity level is important, but being able to play and how that impacts their mental health, we are very supportive of getting them back on the field.
Our mental health affects our physical health, it affects how we learn, it affects our academics. I think athletics has always been a big part of Millersville University campus, and I think having the sports teams back up and playing is huge.
It definitely means a lot to all the nurses at Health Services to get some recognition. Our nurses have been working really hard. The start of the pandemic in March, whenever the campus shut down, we all stayed here and we stayed open. You know, our nurses are out in full PPE, testing students every day for COVID and exposing themselves. But it's kind of part of being a nurse. So, you know, it also feels a little silly being recognized for doing our job, but we appreciate it.
We put a lot of energy into helping to keep sports going, and it's an honor to be recognized by athletics.
Thank you, Joanne and Lauren and the rest of the Health Services team for everything you've done for us. Our next award is the Faculty Mentor Award. Faculty plays such an important role in the experience of our student athletes. They serve as teachers, advisors, and mentors. Their cooperation is essential to our success as a department. Our final award is going to an individual who is a tremendous resource and advocate for our student athletes. As the exploratory program coordinator, he assists many of our student athletes in selecting majors and career goals. He also assists student athletes through change in majors and helps them keep track academically. Ladies and gentlemen, our Faculty Mentor Award winner, Dr. David Enriquez.
When Miles called me up, I was completely awestruck and humbled by the offer or the opportunity, because again, for me, this is what I do every day. So when somebody comes along and says, we really appreciate what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, that's always a great pat on the shoulder. And really working with the student athletes, they are a great group of students to work with, full of energy, almost always positive, excited, motivated. And because they're athletes, I have some tricks of how I can work with them that doesn't always work with other students. It's not just give me your schedule and let's plan it out. It's how is this impacting you? Are you able to maintain your schoolwork when you're traveling so much? Or what do you do when you're in the bus for 4 hours? Because a lot of times the expectation is that particularly our first year students, who I primarily work with, already have those skills when they get here. So sometimes we have to have those conversations about, well, that's an important time for you to do something of an academic nature and not just use that time, I call it goof off time, because we're all really good at finding goof off time. With athletics, we find that a lot of student athletes come into our exploratory program. So one of the things that I've done recently is I've put all the student athletes into the same cohort advisor, specifically me, so that the message is consistent with the athletes in our department. So scheduling, choosing a major, recognizing the NCAA regs for when you have to be in a major. There's always that collaboration with either the coach, with Larry Ernesty, with Miles, to make sure we're doing all the things we need to do to make sure the students successful in their athletics as well as their academics.
Congratulations to all of our award winners. The honors are certainly well-deserved. It looks like the bidding on the auction items is going fast and furious, so make sure you don't get outbid before the end of the show tonight. If you join the broadcast tonight without yet viewing the auction items, just click that button on the top of your screen and see all the great items that are up for bid. Now it's time to hear a message from our keynote speaker, Tim Meza. Tonight's presentation is sponsored by the Cy Fritz Foundation. 10 years ago, as a freshman with Millersville baseball, he pitched in the NCAA Division II championship. For the last 3 years, he's been pitching in places like Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, and Wrigley Field as a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. After suffering a horrible injury to his pitching arm 2 years ago, he's fought back to the major leagues and is excelling once again. We're excited to have Tim join us tonight, and Tim will answer questions from the viewers at the end of the video. You can submit your questions in the chat feature on your screen. But first, please enjoy this video message from 2018 Millersville graduate, Tim Meza.
Hello and good evening. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy during these unprecedented times. I also want to thank everyone for joining us for the Millersville Virtual Dining with Champions. My name is Tim Meza. I played on the Millersville baseball team from 2010 to 2013, and I am currently a pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Having to sit down and think about what I wanted to talk to you about allowed me some time for self-reflection, and to be honest, I have so much to thank this university and the baseball program for. I was raised in a great family with two awesome parents as role models, but when I walked onto campus at Millersville in 2010, I had a lot of unknowns about what the next few years would turn out to be. Some of my best memories and relationships came from campus life. I have the university to thank for introducing me to my beautiful and incredible wife, as well as some of the best friends a person could ever ask for. Some of the most important people in my life have come from Millersville University. Millersville provided me with the resources to have both academic and athletic success. Academically, I was unsure of the path I wanted to pursue and what career I saw myself pursuing. I went in thinking that education might be a good path for me, and then ended up graduating in 2018 with a degree in multidisciplinary studies with a sport business focus. Millersville gave me that flexibility and guidance to pursue what I was passionate about while playing professional baseball. I am humbled to be one of the 4% of MLB players who have graduated college. Millersville baseball gave me a deeper understanding of what my why was. Coach Sheehan instills values into his athletes that they can use both on and off the field. Selfless and relentless are the two core values that the baseball program is built around. However, those are not the only two values that I learned during my time at Millersville. Loyalty was the other key value that I learned. Loyalty to myself, loyalty to the school, loyalty to the baseball program, and loyalty to my teammates. With Coach Sheehan, there's an attention and detail to everything he does as a coach. He is constantly focused on the development process of each individual person. In the sport business, athletes at times are treated as commodities, but with Coach Sheehan, that never takes place. He understands the human element in sports and puts forth the effort to develop the human just as much as the player. Millersville baseball is a close-knit group, a family that is built around trust in each other and trust in the preparation, so that once you enter the game, competition and talent take over in order to win games. That attention to detail and ability to focus and improve every aspect of his player's life, both on and off the field, is a big reason why I'm still pitching at such a high level. In 2013, I was fortunate enough to be drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 12th round. I ended up debuting in the major leagues in August of 2017, and I've spent parts of the last 3 seasons in the MLB. My time in professional baseball has been anything but an easy ride. Between having disappointing seasons early in my career, to being demoted at least one time every year prior to 2019, and now currently rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, my career has had its share of adversity. It was at the times when things were tough and my performance was not very good, where Millersville Athletics taught me all the skills I needed in order to persevere. Through my journey, I've used all these skills and values that I developed while at Millersville. Millersville not only enhanced my ability to dream and to reach for those dreams, but also to attack those dreams with a relentless pursuit. It was the tough times in my journey that made the day I got called up even more incredible, knowing all that I had to go through in order to achieve my childhood dream of playing in Major League Baseball. To the spectator, a lot of people see the finished product when a player reaches the MLB, but what they do not see is the true grind and sacrifice that a player must make in order to reach the pinnacle of baseball. The overnight travel to small towns, playing in games in front of minimal crowds, working off-season jobs to make ends meet, and spending large amounts of time away from family and friends. Looking back at the journey through the minors, it all makes reaching the highest level so much more satisfying. Millersville has prepared me and taught me to be relentless in my pursuit of my dream of playing at the highest level. Staying loyal to myself along the way, where I trust my judgments and development, and trust in my preparation in a profession where other people's opinions and judgments can determine how far you make it. Taking control of my career and the choices along the way made all the difference. Staying on task and focusing on what I can do in the present moment to make myself a better player are all philosophies and ideals I learned while at Millersville and have put them to action every day. Of course, all the resources that were made available to me at Millersville University that allowed me to chase and pursue my dream would not have been possible if it were not for you, the supporters. Without your generosity and passion for Millersville, the university and the baseball program would not be where it is today. All your support makes dreams possible, and whether it is for upgraded equipment, facilities, or scholarships, your contributions create opportunities for athletes to succeed on and off the field. I would like to extend a sincere thank you on behalf of myself and all other current and former Millersville athletes, as these opportunities would not be possible if it were not for you. I continue to involve myself with both Millersville baseball and the university because it provided me a foundation to build the rest of my life on. It provided me values to live and build a family around. In closing, I would like to take the time to thank some individuals who made my time at Millersville such a special one. Miles Gallagher, thank you for inviting me to speak at the Dining with Champions and continuing to improve the student-athlete experience. Coach Sheehan, thank you for pushing me to believe in myself and my abilities. Coming from a small town throwing 84 miles an hour, you took a chance on me, but also gave me the belief that with hard work and perseverance, dreams can truly become realities. Thank you, Dr. Richard Glenn, who took time to help me create a plan in order to graduate and get closer to my post-playing goals of becoming an athletic administrator. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Kiefer, who also took this plan and helped me to implement it and stay on track in order to graduate. Lastly, thank you, Millersville. You gave me a place to build relationships and pursue academic, athletic, and life goals. It has been an honor talking to you all today, and thank you again for joining us in the virtual Dining with Champions, and also thanks for all your support. Go Ville!
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ethan Halsey, the Director of Athletic Communications, and I'm going to serve as the moderator for the Q&A session. We're fortunate enough to have Tim Meza with us here tonight. Very exciting that we were able to schedule this on an off day for Tim. So he's with us from Dunedin, Florida. Tim, before we get into some questions, you've had a great spring, as Dr. Wuba alluded to earlier. Great on the field, but you've also had some big life changes recently as well. So why don't you update the Marauder fans on what you've been up to?
Yeah, sure. First off, thanks for having me. It's great to be here again. Fortunate to have this on an off day. So currently we're not playing a game. Some big things happening with myself. You know, my wife and I were able to welcome our first child, our son Everett, in January. So super excited about that. Proud to be a dad now. And then also tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. I'll be graduating with a master's degree in sport administration from the University of Ohio in Athens, Ohio. So I've been chipping away at that for the last 2 years, and we'll officially graduate tomorrow morning. So excited about that as well.
That's outstanding, Tim. Glad to hear that you're getting that second degree and master's degree. And that actually brings us to the first question that we have in our chat is, do you have a plan for after baseball?
Yeah, I like to think so. Again, it's crazy to think about, but at some point, I guess everybody's playing career ends. You know, I look to a quote in Moneyball where we're all told we can't play the child's game. Some of us are told at 19 and some of us are told at 40, and I'm hoping I'm towards the latter end of that. But no, you know, I look at two paths, and obviously in the video I state that be an athletic administrator is one of the goals. You know, and I'd love to get involved in college athletics in some way, shape, or form, but also haven't ruled out the possibility of staying on the pro side as well. You know, as just continuing to develop those relationships with players and maybe helping a front office staff in some way, shape, or form. So two routes that I haven't, you know, been set on, but definitely have in my mind.
We mentioned it a little bit in the introduction to your video about the injury that you suffered a couple of years ago, and you've come back better than ever. Can you describe the process that you went through after suffering that injury and how you've been able to come back to the major leagues and really never miss a beat, maybe even better now than you were before?
Yeah. You know, and with COVID involved, it definitely made it tricky, but definitely, you know, kind of had its benefits. I think under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have been home as much. So wouldn't have been able to be around my wife, who at the time we found out was pregnant. And so I was able to be there for her and support her. And that was a plus of kind of COVID and being able to rehab from home. You know, did all my rehab at home and, you know, was able to be a little bit more progressive with my rehab and, you know, go through Coach Ian, honestly, to get to full reps and be progressive with my throwing progression and my rehab, and, you know, was able to not only develop strength, but to also kind of work out some kinks and some flaws in my delivery that maybe were there and I didn't have the time to address until rehab presented those opportunities.
We do have a question from our chat, and the question is, what advice would you give to our current Millersville student athletes?
You know, honestly, like, dream big. You know, like I walked on campus and I had dreams, you know, growing up, and I played in the backyard, and it was always, you know, kind of 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded, and I'm playing with my friends in the backyard, and I had those dreams at an early age and really continue to dream big, and even if it's not playing, continue to have those dreams to have an impact on organizations and really reach for those life goals. I think that dreaming is a positive, and my advice would just be to keep dreaming and dream big.
Was there some advice that you received while you were a student athlete at Millersville that you carry with you today when you're on the field at the major league level?
I would say it's just those two core values. They get addressed pretty much immediately from a baseball standpoint, and that's being selfless and being relentless. And I continue to kind of mold my daily preparation and my daily life around those two core values, and continue to have them present in my daily life. So those are two things that I've kind of molded, my professional and my personal life around.
So Tim, when you made the jump to the major league level, obviously that's a big spotlight, and there had to have been a moment that you realized that you weren't pitching in Dunedin anymore, or you weren't pitching at Millersville anymore. What was that aha moment, that welcome to the big leagues moment for you?
Well, it was an aha moment, but it was also a humbling moment. It was definitely, my first road appearance was in Wrigley. First appearance in Wrigley was during the 7th inning stretch. So, you have the whole crowd singing, the 7th inning stretch and take me out to the ball game. And then I proceeded to give up a home run to Javi Baez that may not have landed yet. So both a aha and a hey kid, welcome, keep working kind of moment there.
So Tim, our next question from the viewers is, what Millersville teammate was the toughest hitter to pitch against? So you answer that first, and then we'll have a follow-up question. So first off, what Millersville teammate was the toughest for you?
I don't know. I mean, when we're going by hitters, like, who do I think is the toughest? It might be Zach Stone, but who some people who have been at inter squads may say is John Brogan. For whatever reason, Brogan had my number, if I could recall, in inter squads. But if we're going by like who's the toughest out that I think I've had to face, it was Zach Stone.
Zach Stone would have been the first name that came to my mind when you talk about toughest hitters to get out. Then you mentioned John Brogan, and he hit the longest home run I've ever seen hit at Cooper Park. So both good answers there. So the follow-up question here is, what MLB hitter are you most proud of striking out?
Like Evan Longoria was a good one. I think just because I grew up kind of a Phillies fan, and then watched them in the World Series against the Rays, and Evan Longoria was on that Rays team, so being able to strike him out was a good one. Anthony Rizzo, I felt like was a good one because I feel like he's a tough out. But yeah, I would say off the top of my head, those two would be some of the prouder ones.
Well, we mentioned some of your former Millersville teammates. Chaz McCormick, Millersville alum, is now at the major league level as well. What were your thoughts when you saw that Chaz made the major league club? And then also, if you guys ever run across each other and match up in a game, who's winning that battle?
No, I mean, Chaz and I still talk. We worked out for a few off seasons and came across each other, and we still chat, we still text kind of on a weekly basis. What's funny about the second question is I'm going to be seeing him here in about a week. So, I think, all right, I'm just going to say it anyway. I think I win the battle. I think I probably have the upper hand as a pitcher, especially a guy who he hasn't seen in a few years, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
We do have another question from our viewers. Tim, what Blue Jays pitcher do you look to for advice? And go Jays from Angela Cuthbert. So we have a Blue Jays fan.
Yeah. Currently it's David Phelps. He's a guy who has kind of been through some similar challenges that I've experienced over the past couple of years. So, I played with him in 2019, looked up to him then. He's currently with us right now. and then we've kept in touch in the off season. But he's a guy who has had a great career and is in our bullpen. He's one of the leaders of our bullpen. He's also a guy who came back from Tommy John. So he's a guy who I turn to for advice pretty much on a daily basis.
So this will be our last call for questions from viewers. And Tim, the last question from me is, you mentioned the birth of your son. So how has your life changed as a professional baseball player now that you're a father?
You wake up every day knowing that he's here, and it was sad to see them leave today, but I'll see them in about a month once we transition in Buffalo. But just knowing that I have more roles than baseball player and father, that I have and husband. I have an additional role as a father now. So just kind of, I know he probably doesn't understand what's going on the field, but just I want to lead by example for him, so that when he hears these stories and hears the type of player I am, it's somebody that he can look up to.
It doesn't look like we have any additional questions from our viewing audience. Tim, are there any last words, any last bit of advice you'd like to leave our listeners or our viewers tonight, or any of our student athletes that are joining us?
No, not that I could think of. Just kind of get after it, dream big, and attack your life goals. With full pursuit and persevere and keep pushing, and strive to be the best version of yourselves that you could possibly be.
Well, thanks a lot, Tim, for joining us. I know you have a really busy schedule, especially now as a father, but best of luck to you this spring. And you really make Millersville proud every day. And great job with your new degree as well. But always a Marauder first. So
That's right. That's right. Always a Marauder first. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tim. Rich, it's all yours.
Thanks, Ethan, and thank you very much, Tim. Great message for all of us. And that brings us to the conclusion of our event. Thank you to everyone for taking time out of their evening to join us for this virtual Dining with Champions. We hope that you've enjoyed seeing our award winners and hearing from Tim. We made the decision at the start of this pandemic to come out on the other side better than ever. And with your continued support, we are on our way. Remember, check in on the online auction and bid now. If you're interested in supporting our student athletes, please click the donate button at the top of the page or reach out to Miles or one of our coaches. And we look forward to being back in Fusillo Gymnasium in person for this event in 2022. But for now, we wish you all well, stay safe, and go Marauders.